Hello, friends. Today we're going to go over a replay of my own that I played yesterday because we happened to get into a game with Gibbs. I'm assuming it's Gibbs and not like a hard G Jibs, who's in our Discord, and so I thought that was pretty funny. This was just randomly. He, I guess a friend of his were in a party, and I queued into them for 2 games. So this is the second game, which I did record live, but I decided there was a lot of stuff I did badly that I wanted to talk about. Why are we looking at Venomancer? Here we go. Okay, so first, I'm going to talk about my items real quick. I got the tangos. You always need tangos. The Orb of Venom, I personally have not felt very good with, but I wanted to try it out again because I felt like with a Venomancer, between Venomancer slows, either his Q or his passive, my Orb of Venom, and then I was probably going to take Nature's Grasp. I figured 3 slows, that could probably kill Crystal Maiden if we just touch her once with any of the slows. We'll get all the others on her, and then she's dead. And then a Sven as well is a little harder to kill, but we could probably at least get a solid amount of harass off. And so I wanted to try it out, try like super slow, heavy lane. I think I was debating, I only played Jakiro and Treant Protector, and I saw this guy was hovering Venomancer, so I thought, I want someone with some kind of disable for like team fights. And I think Jakiro technically would have been better because the stun is a regular ability and not like a 100-second cooldown ult. So technically I think Jakiro would have been a better matchup for Veno, but I wanted to try like this aggressive lane. So I was walking up to ward. Slowly, I guess. What was I doing? And then saw both of them, decided like, oh, not gonna get to ward. I was trying to get in position to line up root. Saw the arrow and immediately knew we done messed up. This is one of the things I wanted to talk about. There is reactive thinking and proactive thinking. Reactive thinking is a lot easier to do, where you see something happening and you react accordingly. Proactive thinking is figuring out what the enemy is going to do and preparing for it ahead of time and foiling what they're trying to do. And as soon as I saw the Mirana, I knew that I should have known. What else were they going to do? Enigma is a fantastic solo laner. Venomancer is very weak level 1. I'm kind of weak level 1 in certain situations, and against a trilane is one of them. Because Enigma's like going to be fine on his own, I was so used to like a 2v2 meta, I was like, oh yeah, Sven Crystal Maiden. I got lazy. I wasn't thinking about it. But of course Mirana's going to come up here. She has a stun from Sven. She has, either a root or a slow from Crystal Maiden to set up the arrow. A 5-second arrow with 3 of them, like how are they not going to get a kill? And Enigma is going to be totally fine. He's just going to idle on one of the range creep, and then like if he's by himself, it's like whatever. And I should have known that. I should have predicted that was going to happen. And either had Gibbs on Undying come up here to tri-lane with us. I think that could have worked. But at the same time, I don't think you actually want a 1v1 versus Enigma. I think Enigma wins most 1v1s. I think there's a couple things we could have done. Either have Gibbs come up here on Undying with us and tri-lane. Like right off the bat, I should have known this was going to happen and just been like, hey, 3 of us come up here and let's fight for this. Because he's really bad at contesting runes. Him and Mirana, like, I don't think they could even kill a Wraith King by himself anyways. So we should have had 3 up here, and then if we want to go back to normal laning, we could. But if we predicted they were going to tri-lane up here, then Undying might be actually the one to come up here, because Undying is really good versus tri-lanes, and I am not so good versus tri-lanes. And to counteract Enigma bottom, sorry, there's a lot of talking before the game's even begun, but I feel this is important. I feel this is very applicable if you play with friends or in some kind of party queue where you can do these kind of lane swaps. Or as you get higher, it's very important to be able to address lanes correctly, because having a good lane is like everything. If you purposely put yourself in bad matchups, you're just going to lose. And that's what I felt after playing this game. I was like, I really should have known this was coming. And this is kind of like the next step for me to improve, is to like see this coming and recommend to my team, like, hey, let's all be up here. But anyways, if I'm bottom, I can deal with Enigma because, Enigma's really annoying. He Eidolon's creeps and the wave always pushes in his favor. So what you have to do to deal with that is to constantly pull against Enigma. Because he's a slow hero and his Eidolons are slow, he can't react to pulls very well. If Undying is just pulling a lot, is that making use of what Undying is good at? No. Undying likes to fight. He likes being against a lot of heroes, stealing a lot of strength, soul ripping people, getting kills, tombstone popping up against multiple heroes. He likes that. He doesn't like pulling. You know who doesn't mind pulling? Treant Protector. You know why? Because I can just level up this global passive, and I can just chill here. I can just pull, and like, oh, they're in trouble? Let me heal them a little bit. I'm contributing, and like, honestly, Treant Protector doesn't mind doing this. And so, even if we wanted to 2v2 and suspected a trilane up here, I think I should have seen that and thought, like, hey, let's swap, because I can heal up top. I'll pull a little bit until Sven gets the lead. Once Sven has, or not Sven, Wraith King. Once Wraith King is at the point where he can, like, lane on his own, level, like, 3 or so, and Enigma is not, like, super ahead, then I can rotate top as well and contribute there. So that is laning setup out of the way. Now we're going to progress into the game, which was the wrong lane. So I was doing this just trying to waste time, and you see we kind of are. We're getting off some extra damage from Venomancer. I was just trying to, like, they used some tangos, even though they were mostly full health at the time. As long as this guy didn't die, it was okay. Me dying is unfortunate, but not end of the world. I actually think bottom maybe could have pushed into here once they saw it was a tri-lane. But we didn't see Lina. And they did try. They're like up here. Maybe could have gone sooner. But on the other hand, we probably just shouldn't have died. I should have expected a tri-lane and just been playing really safe. So I died. I decided to walk out because I died soon enough that I had time to walk out.
So what if I swagger?
You still have to be a little careful if they're tri-laning. Because it worked once, so why not just do it again, you know? And so I walk up here, I see, okay, there's still 3 up here, we can't do this. Venomancer's gonna die again. This is now really bad, because Venomancer is a slow hero, and he teleported up here, which means he now does not have his teleport, which means he has to walk all the way up here. And he, at this point, I was like, I am not sure what to do, because if I walk up, I can die. Now, Mirana actually TP'd bottom, but still, against just Crystal Maiden and Sven by myself, it's still a little risky. So I decided to body block the creeps, but I think this is the wrong call. Sorry. I should have gone to try to pull the creep wave. And I think I was too late in this. See, I didn't see that Mirana had TP'd when I was playing this. Now I see it, you know, and I should have known. But what I should have done as soon as Venomancer died is one of 2 things. If I was a faster hero, I could have blocked this camp, because that's what a tri-lane needs to do. After you get these kind of kills, you need to pull a lot and maintain creep equilibrium back here so that anytime we walk up, you kill them. So if I walk over here and immediately block this camp, then they can't do that, at least for 2 minutes. And if they use this camp to pull, like, it's much safer for me to stand here and sap XP rather than to come up here and try to sap XP from the small camp. So if they have to use the hard camp, that is, you know, it's not ideal to get it pulled against us, but it's much better. We're able to contest this easier. My other option was to run through the trees. Treant Protector can do this very safely, because no one else can do this. And then you pop out around here, and this is when you can start pulling the creeps. Now, it's actually too risky for me to pull this way, because, I mean, if there was a tri-lane up here, I would just die. So all I would do, though, is once they aggro to me, I run back down here, and I loop back. I lose them in the trees, run up here, catch them again, and just keep doing this loop. And I'm very safe. If I get interrupted, I might have to, like, back off and lose the creep wave. But by doing that, I could build up the creep wave on the enemy side. And, like, right now they want to balance it here. But if I'm doing this, Sven has to choose to tank the creeps at level 1 or let them under the tower. And that's just better than what I did let them do, which is just like lane normally here. Like, this is not good. Now here I was just trying to sap XP, and this is when I should have already been over here, and because of that I'm going to be a little late. And I only get the range creep. So I could have fixed this by 2 or 3 ways. One, I should have left a little sooner, and I would have gotten here at, like, you know, 120, and then I would have gotten these melee creeps as well. Or I could have popped out under tower. I was trying to avoid that because I'm like, oh, I don't want to take tower damage. But, you know, getting the lane in the right spot is good to do. And I should have popped out and made sure I grabbed all the creep wave. I don't have Corona, I swear. I just can't clear my throat for whatever reason. Getting just this range creep is not the best because they can just balance out with the melee creeps, and it's actually kind of unideal. Like, our creeps will kill these 3 melees, and so that's why I was like, okay, I just have to lose this range creep. This isn't good enough. My other option is to like pull that range creep back and do this loop, but I just don't think that's as good. I could have still done it, but I saw Venomancer pinging up here like he wants to lane, and I was like, okay, Mirana's bottom. Maybe we can lane at this point, but I don't think we can because we are both level 1 and they are both level 2. That is a significant disadvantage. Venomancer... Now, I was feeling okay, like, we're off to a bad start, but once Venomancer gets, like, level 3, 4, that area, then we'll be okay because Ven is melee, Venomancer's excellent against ranged heroes. Mirana and CM are very fragile heroes. Once he gets his passive, his other poison wards going, stuff like that, he is very strong because he just puts out a lot of damage. So I came back to lane, but I was like, I'm not doing anything here. I should have just like stayed there, continuing to pull stuff around. Now, you see, even though I'm 1 level below her, I can still bully her out, and she had to use spells to stop me. So imagine if I wasn't 1 level behind and I had Leech Seed. Now, if I ran into her on a 1v1, I would have leveled Leech Seed. And I'd probably just kill her here by myself. 2 slows. Or like if I'm level 2 and she's level 1 and she can't root me. You know, if we're both level 1, stuff like that. That's just like the effects of these kind of like early game stuff. Now here's the pull that they're able to do. Like, you know, if I had been here to block this in time earlier, it may have spawned at 2 minutes, but maybe I commit the ward to block it. Maybe I put the ward like back here or something. I put that there to try to kill the creeps without... kill the jungle creeps without doing too much damage to their creeps. I saw the combo coming in, but I'm too slow of a hero. I was going to try to tank it for him, but I'm a really slow hero and I wasn't able to do it. I decided, you know, he's dead. I'm just going to back away. Now at this point, you see Sven is doing well. Bottom's going okay though, because it was a 2v1 to start, then a 2v2 for a little bit, and then now it's 2v1 again. I have the ward and I want to place it, but they can see me every time I go up. And I was worried they might have a sentry there already, which turns out they did, which we can see on the minimap. But you see at this point, it's really hard to lane. Like, all my trees are gone, so I can't... It's really risky for me to be here. And I think trying to lane like this is a mistake on my part. I should have just immediately gone back to, like, cut. I really... That's one of my weaknesses. I really need to get in a better mindset of, like, always trying to cut the wave more when it's not going well. And not like farming the wave back here, but just like... So this is what I meant to do the first time. You know, you pull them back, you run over here, go into the trees, kind of repeat. Now Sven is doing the right thing. He is tanking the creep wave out here because he doesn't want what I'm doing to work. But I'm not taking damage tanking them because I can run all the way around here like this. You know, and then I run to the trees and then I pop out. I don't take damage, or like I take very little damage. Whereas he is tanking like 5 creeps outside the tower. That's a lot of damage. And he can't... Well, he could run them down here, but this is like not where he wants to lane. So if I saw that, I would just let the creeps go. And then it's like, oh, we meet out here. That's good. So he has to stay in this area. It technically has the option to pull it down here, I suppose, and try to meet the next wave with these creeps. And I kind of think that would have been a good option as well. But he doesn't know where Venomancer is, and so running through this way can be a little iffy. Now, they're in the lead, so I think they could still do it, but he chose to tank them here, and that's to my advantage. Optimally, I think he should have pulled it around the tower. I dropped that to spot them, so I know when people are coming to kill me. Now, this is what I forgot, is that they no longer aggro to you, and so I needed to time this better and immediately turn around so that I meet all 8 of these creeps right here, and I can aggro all of them. But once I see Mirana here, I decide, okay, I'm just going to lose these creeps and let them all go together. But unfortunately, they do a small pull, which was really smart. That's what you're supposed to do to this kind of stuff. And now our creep wave is going... Or, like, the idea of what I was doing is to build up a large creep wave so that it pushes our stuff out. But because he tanked our creeps up here, our creeps are now meeting, and they got a small pull off. Like, what I did is totally ineffective now, where all these creeps are going to die, which is why I used this route to try to hopefully get some last hits, but to also push it under tower sooner so that all these creeps would die and make it more difficult for Sven. Also so that Sven doesn't have an easy time just walking up, because otherwise he has to tank a bit of damage from my route. I'm sorry, I shouldn't call it a route. Nature's Grasp. Now, their small pull was pretty good, and because of that, like, now the lane is normal, despite both lanes building up. So I'm just trying to push it into tower again, make Sven's life a little difficult, even though he is getting some denies. I don't know if that was the right call. At this point, we did decide, okay, Undying, come up here. This is sad, you know? No hard stuns here. This is where Jakiro would have been good, although Jakiro can't do the like same stuff Treant can. But, you know, not having any stuns as a tri-lane is pretty rough, and I think Gibbs pointed that out too. But Undying is really good against tri-lanes. So even though we are technically behind up here, with Undying up here, and this is one of the mistakes I feel like I made. I probably should have called for him to come up here sooner. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't quite know when the best time to leave him is, because, you know, it's one melee hero versus an Enigma. That's a tough matchup to leave him alone in. But anyways, now we did leave him alone there, so here we are. He is at the point where he can jungle now, so if he needs to, he could ditch. But unfortunately, that gives an Enigma like a pretty free time. And we have 4 heroes up here on the enemy side. So I'm immediately just going to run away. And see what he's doing? This is good. Running them further back. He knows he's probably going to die. So he wants to run this way and drag them away from the lane, away from places they want to be. They want to be like here. They want to be here. And so by dragging them all the way back here, like, that's just good. And then he's even going to cut behind a tree and TP out. Space. And we are at the point where Sven is still scary, but with 3 of us up here, we can get kills. So now it's kind of like okay for us to lane and try to keep all 3 up here and let Wraith King be on his own, just farming solo. Because at this point, we can sort of contest Sven a little bit. And even though they are winning up to this point, you know, a 3v3 lane is just not going to farm as efficiently as a Wraith King in a 1v1, even against an Enigma who is pretty good at 1v1s. I'm picking up a stick because sticks are really good against tri-lanes. I was kind of floating a lot of gold because I was kind of a bit mindless with everything going on. So I ended up getting boots to move faster because everyone needs boots pretty much. And then the stick because, yeah, it's good in tri-lanes. And then I decided I'm going to immediately go for... I want to immediately go for the... I was punching him to slow him a little bit. Should I slow this down a little bit? I'm scared to, like, be here. But we are going to get the kill. Lina has rotated top again. Really annoying. I don't know why it's so slow. I almost got out of that. Unfortunately, we're all going to die here again. But Sven did die. He's the one who wants to farm. Magnus immediately pinged, like, hey, let's kill this Enigma. Because they were all top, so, you know, bottom is pretty safe to go on. I decided to go straight for a Meteor Hammer because as a position 4, you have a little bit more farm, and I felt like I didn't need the Tranquils necessarily. I decided to come mid because Magnus TP'd bottom, and someone needs to get this XP. And Venomancer went top. And between Undying and myself, Treant is the one that wants to get the gold. I'm not farming the best here. Unfortunately, Mirana missed that deny on the range creep. I'm going to leave a ward here to make it a little safe. Because think about where Mirana comes from. She tends to come from around here and run between the lanes or run bottom. But she's been playing top a lot, so it's more likely she comes from up here. It's also kind of good to have it further out so that you can have a bit more time to see the arrows and stuff like that. And this is a little obvious, but still put it there, so I don't know. Now I'm just kind of like pulling these out because I saw Veno had some wards out, so it's like, oh, I'll help him farm. I'm giving the tree to Veno because it is Pretty good for him. He has very few stats. I should have told you. I saw the arrow, Gibbs. I should have warned you it was there. For some reason, I just assumed you would see it. And when you got hit by it, I was like, I probably could have told him an arrow was coming. I was kind of quiet this game. I don't know why. Kind of got you killed, actually. I definitely should have said it. My bad, man. Unfortunately, we're gonna kill her. Killed with the the skewer. Pretty rare. 70 damage kill. But there's been like 4 people top a lot, and my feeling was like, okay, I hope that's a lot of space for Wraith King. Wraith King can farm really fast with Mortal Strike. And if we look, like he's caught up, even though he was against an Enigma. Because he's in a 1v1, he's just like, I'm safe in the jungle, you know? We might be giving up our bottom lane, but he's very safe in the jungle to farm really quickly. I felt that was good. Now, what was a mistake is I should have defended this bottom tower, I think. Treant's really good at that. Against an Enigma, it is a little hard because he can move his Eidolons out of the nature's grasp and still hit the towers a bit. But still, I could have been down there to spam heals and stuff. My gut feeling at the time was like, we need to 3v3 top and all of this, but I kind of forgot that Enigma was a thing, and so part of me feels I should have been bottom, protecting that tower, not giving it up. Oops, sorry, we were looking at Wraith King, my bad. Let's go back. So here we are up here. I was saving for the Void Stone because if I have mana, I can just heal myself a bunch, and that solves my health issues. Now I see they're diving at Magnus. Now Magnus is doing... At the time, I thought Magnus was doing well for our team. It turns out he was actually struggling a bit. Although maybe he was just doing normal and Lina was like farming us top. That could also be the issue. But I saw he was pretty healthy when they started this dive. And I saw this tower was pretty healthy. And so I felt that, okay, I want to TP in here and see if I can turn this... at least save Magnus. I don't want him to die as well. Ulted all these guys. Fortunately, we kill Lina. She's probably the best person to kill there. I mean, Sven's pretty good as well, but by nature, the hero, he's just harder to kill. And so, Lina's pretty good. Either of those kills are good to get there. Now, I came back top because I was low, and I wanted to immediately push out lanes. Which, even though I'm low, you know, as long as I'm in the trees, I'm pretty safe. I chose not to run into the trees there because I didn't know if Enigma had Midnight Pulse, which would just break all the trees and break my passive, and I would have just died there. So I backed off instead of like running in deeper. And I came here because I wanted to... I already made the mistake of losing bottom tower, so I wanted to make sure I protect the side tower here. And this is pretty much what I do. I cancel this clarity just to be annoying, and I try to let the creeps stay in nature's grasp. I was trying not to farm them too much because I saw Venno coming up. Our team gets another kill on Lina. This is really good. Whenever a hero's doing well, like Lina was, killing them multiple times in a row. This sounds super obvious. Like, kill the best hero on the enemy team. Just keep doing it, you know? But especially anyone momentum-based, anyone who's meant to snowball, like Huskar is a really big example, or Meepo. If you kill them twice, suddenly they are so far away from where they want to be. They might still come back, but generally at this level, ruining people's momentum is really good. And so Lina died when they dove mid last time, and now they just killed her again, which means she like died, respawned, TP'd mid, pushed out, and died again. This means she like hasn't done anything net worth wise for a long time. Like about a minute and a half by the time she respawns again. And that's really good against someone like her. So there we go. I ferry in a lot of clarities. I don't know if we'll see it all because I'm kind of like speeding up sometimes. But as long as you have mana on Treant, in my opinion, you can heal yourself. Now, I wasn't even using the heal that often on myself. It was more about healing towers, healing other people. And so I'm pointing that out so that it's like, oh, why don't you get Tranquils to solve your health issue, and then I wouldn't have to buy so many clarities. It wasn't about myself. That was just like the option. It's like, if I need to heal myself, I can. Now, we were chasing this CM because she's kind of weak and we want kills, but when we got to here, I saw Mirana heading top. I saw that we were missing a lot of heroes, and I said, like, okay, forget this. We're not doing it. Back up. And it's good not to chase too far, especially when you're behind. You just kind of... You want to get kills like that when you can, like CM, but you don't want to dive everyone and just, you know, die. Still playing top. I feel like maybe I was a little too defensive. I could have moved up a little further. I got black holed. I think that was a little excessive, and so I don't mind. I don't really mind dying here. You know, I'll slow down a bit. Where I was kind of coming up to see what Crystal Maiden was doing, and I thought here would be safe, but I guess I should have known. It's like the Mirana combo is still a thing. Solo black holes me though. I didn't think he was gonna do that. I got arrowed, and I was like, okay, when this ends, I'll living armor, I'll stick, maybe I'll ult. I think I should be okay. I got black holed, and I thought, all right, if this is what I'm dying for, you know, you want to black hole me? That's whatever. Unfortunately, the dust missed Crystal Maiden, and we had no way to deal with this. And I died, so I couldn't get my stuff off. So it was very unfortunate. Veno probably should have dust. The support should always carry detection, which we are. But for the example of what you see, where it's like one support dies, doesn't get to use his detection, and the other support uses dust, but if it doesn't catch everyone, dust has a really long cooldown before you can use it again. So it's really important if cores have the space to carry detection as well. And Magnus is pretty farm, so it's like, okay, Magnus doesn't necessarily need to have any, but you know, the offlaner, who tends to be the initiator, and Veno in this case is like a front wall kind of guy, so he would be the first usually to meet the enemy. And so he also wants detection. And if we had a second source of detection there, then like this fight would have gone a lot cleaner. Now it's still going okay for us overall. Gibbs saving everyone. I should have healed. I don't know what I was thinking. I was watching the fight respawn, and I was like, oh, let me go look bottom. But I really should have used a heal on someone first. So I heal there. After I looked bottom, I was like, what am I doing? I could have saved that Magnus. I don't know if that would have saved him, but it's still what you need to do, is like heal the people up there. And then I just missed all my last hits feeling flustered. We're trying to farm up the Meteor Hammer, and we're going to defend bottom. I TP'd bottom because I thought the fight was going well for my team, and I didn't think they were going to continue diving so hard. And so I was like, oh, I'll go defend bottom because that's getting pushed in. That'll let me farm, and if I get here, eventually that'll force someone bottom. And because I wanted to get the gold from my Meteor Hammer. And then I saw my team continue to dive, and I was like, ooh, maybe I should have been up there. I don't think so, though. I think the team just shouldn't have gone this far. I'm not fully sure. But it was around now where I was feeling really awkward, like, oh, maybe I should have been up there. But see, this is the benefit. Like, even though I'm not there, I still can do these global heals. And that's kind of that same... Okay, so this is... When I saw them under the tower, I was like, man, I wish I had a teleport. Maybe I should have just walked bottom, which I think is probably what I should have done. I think TPing bottom was maybe a bit too greedy. Oops, my bad, guys. But this is what I was talking about, where it's like, okay, what if Undying is top and I'm bottom? Well, I can still heal top, which is really solid for us. This is why I felt okay about the game, even though we were losing, because it's like, this guy gets slowed so heavily by all sorts of stuff, you know? And then what can he do? Even when he's really ahead, until he gets his BKB, he's just going to struggle to move around. And you see it here. Look how low everyone was here. And he just cannot approach. And we're even like turning on him despite being super low. Gibbs really going in. And then he cleaves the zombie to kill Veno, which is hilarious. Fortunately, we get that kill. So in the end, it's all good. Now here's what I wanted to do, is like get it to here and force someone to rotate down. CM rotates, not the best I wanted. I was hoping like someone more important than CM would come down here. I originally wanted to... I was hoping to get to this tower before anyone rotates, and then I could run up here and drop something in. But because she TP'd in, I felt more scared of walking up like here and dropping something. So I came out here and dropped it there instead. But pretty much I wanted vision in this area to help make bottom a little safer because we lost this tower. and to know, like, what am I saying? This, just to know when people are coming here. You have like a Mirana who moves around, and if they want to go for like a Mirana gank with her ult, they're gonna ult from like up here and then run in invis. You know, why would they ult way back here and waste like the second or two running through here? They're gonna do it from like up here, and so that's why I kind of want vision, see like if someone's farming, maybe we can get kills, that sort of thing. I'm stacking because I'm down here. Then I'm farming it because I want gold. I see CM walk in, and I was thinking maybe we could kill her, but at the least I know she warded, and so I come to de-ward that. Now I'm looking mid, and I see all 4 of us, all 5 of us here now, right? This is a little inefficient because we have side lanes. I don't think I should have ran here necessarily. I don't quite remember why I did. I don't know if we called to smoke or something, but when I got here, I felt kind of awkward. Now Wraith King slowly, I guess now Wraith King will slowly make his way down here. But like, what if instead I had stayed bottom and then Wraith King just takes the top, and you know, we're just splitting the map a little better that way, I think. Especially because they just de-warded what I had there, and this area is now pretty scary. It's like better for me to be in the scary spot and let Wraith King be somewhere safer. Now I know we don't have wards up here either. We should. Let's go in for a solo kill here. I was a little off on the timing. If I had my Q, I think I would have killed her. It was a power play. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. But we're just like split up farming, and so that's why I was like, if I kill Mirana, you know, I'm okay committing the ult for it, because I won't need it for a team fight, because they'll probably wait for Mirana to do a team fight, because they want to like invis into like a black hole or something. And when she ulted, try to get away, I warned my team like, hey, be safe for now. Now that Wraith King came up here, I no longer want to shove the lane out so that, you know, he has the chance to farm it. And now speaking about like, oh, I want him to be in a safe spot, so it's like, okay, I gotta de-ward anything if they might have, and then I need to leave a ward for him. I wanted to place it deeper, but because no one was showing, it was too scary to go up there, so I just put it here. Now Wraith King left, so then I was like, okay, back to business as usual. Push the lane in. It's always good to get the lanes out. I think I was saying I wanted to put a ward back here, but it felt greedy because this ward strictly benefits me to know when people are coming in to get me, which kind of helps the team. Like if I spot people coming in for me and I survive and waste their time, like that's good. But at the same time, if I ever leave top lane and I'm not playing here, then this ward does like nothing because they'll always be like in their jungle or out here or down here. Now that's a little spoiler because we were on free cam. But what I was saying is, at this time, I think when I was playing, I was like, I don't know where their team is. They haven't done anything for like 2 minutes now. And then I saw them and I was like, ah, that's where they are. So we'll slow down. TP in because, you know, a fight's breaking out. Gotta help. This is why Overgrowth is really good. He's BKB'd. We're going to waste some of his BKB. Now, unfortunately, I didn't have the mana to Overgrowth Meteor Hammer. Originally, I was going to Meteor Hammer the CM, so I'm going to go back here so we can see it. It was kind of awkward because I like caught this wide spread of people, and I wanted to Meteor Hammer someone, but he's BKB'd, so he's like the most important target, but I can't affect him. She is not rooted, so can't aim for her, and so it's like the CM. But then the Soul Rip did like all her health, and I was like, all right, okay, not really needed. So I ended up using Q, but who knows why I threw it this way. I'm really not sure. It was for Crystal Maiden, I guess, but it's probably not worth it. And so now at this point, I'm going to die without using Meteor Hammer. They're focusing on me a bit. Now, we are going to clean up this fight. I was a little worried we weren't, but he didn't have a good black hole, didn't use it. And because they fought under our tower and there we had wards up, we ended up cleaning things up. And so at first I teleported, we only killed that CM, and I was a little worried, but then, yeah, we eventually got everyone, so all good. Now I'm going to get a Blink Dagger next on Treant Protector because Venomancer is not an initiator. Like I said, he's just like this front wall kind of hero, and so we need someone to go in. Now Magnus can do that, But because Magnus has such a critical ult, because it can like mine can pierce BKB too, but mine can be like purged off, you know, his cannot. And so if all the pressure is on Magnus to initiate, it feels really bad. Anytime you only have one initiator, like an Enigma, a Tidehunter, whatever, and everything is on them to get the perfect chrono, black hole, whatever, it is so much pressure and it is so difficult to play. So having a second initiator, someone to draw the attention in, like I go in, I see 3 people, I blink ult, they're all going to focus on me. You know what that sets up? An RP. Perfect. And who cares if I die from there, because the core is the one surviving. Whereas what if he goes in first, they all focus him, he dies, and then we get like a follow-up overgrowth, but it's like all my damage just died going in first. And so that's why I needed a blink this game instead of, you know, something greedier like Aghanims, which is also nice to give us a lot of vision so we can pick the fights we want. But still, I felt the issue of having a initiator was more important. So this time I learned my lesson, and also because I don't have a teleport yet, I am walking bottom. This is what I should have done earlier so that I could have TP'd top to help with that fight. Speed up a little bit. I'm coming bottom because, as always, it's important to push out your lanes, and I'm close to my Blink Dagger, so I just want to farm it up. CM got a Glimmer. I was going too fast for you to see that, but I clicked her to check her inventory. I don't think Glimmer is good this game because the main magic damage is from Venno, and his is like all AoE. He cannot do single target, really. You know, he can hit one person, sure, but generally all his damage is AoE. All of my damage tends to be AoE, and so a pipe is way better. And, you know, Enigma, probably Enigma is the guy who should build a pipe, but pipe feels a little awkward on him. It's a little awkward on Crystal Maiden as well. But the Glimmer, I feel, you know, it's single target focused, and we have AoE magic. And then because she already has a Mirana who has Invis, I feel like Glimmer's kind of... it's lost a lot of its value there. You know, it's like, oh, I saved this one person, but then everyone else on my team died, and that one person's now going to die as well. And the Invis didn't save them because my team's already carrying a bunch of dust for Mirana. So, you know. Now, they were looking to fight a little bit, but I was telling them to relax, let me push it into this tower, and someone will have to rotate here, and then that is when it's time to fight. And if they don't rotate, you know, 5 people cannot directly force a fight on 4 people under a tower, and I can just TP in anyways at that point. And so it's like, our team can stall this out, and so if they don't react to bottom, we'll just take this tower and push it in even further, which is great for me. I'm getting a lot of solo XP, and we're getting map control. Or they rotate someone in, and if they don't back off ahead of time, then our team can now take a 5-on-4, because I could TP in, and then we look for a fight. But the other team recognized that. They already dispersed. And so even though Enigma's down here, and Enigma's a big one. He's the big initiator, so it's like, hey, we could take a serious fight. But if he's not here, then it's whatever. This guy, I thought he was going to move his Eidolons forward. That's why I Meteor Hammered, and he didn't do it. What the heck? Come on, dude. Micro your stuff. But I guess he was just going to go jungle. And he did deny the bottom tower, unfortunately. That's another part of the reason why I wanted bottom soon. I was a little scared to Roche right now, but because Enigma TP'd bottom and he is a big part of their team fight, it felt like, okay, maybe we can do this fast enough. But I immediately want to be there, so I am running over. Now I see them here. Okay, we're going to play this, and then you guys tell me what I did wrong. All seems good, right? Even managed to get the kill, so what did I do wrong? Now, if that was too fast, real quick, let's look at Lena's items, which I should have done sooner. Now, here are her items, and she's about to finish a BKB. This is going to arrive. Honestly, I didn't realize that she just picked up the BKB, so that makes me feel a little bit better, but she had the Yules, which is enough. What should have happened, and what I meant to do, the default combo is ult and then Meteor Hammer after that. And so, like, muscle memory, I started to do that. And I was like, no, wait. I don't need to do that. And I tried to press S, but it was too late. And so I just went with it. I should have Meteor Hammered out of... well, I should just Meteor Hammered first. She doesn't know I'm here, so they haven't reacted. And if she's just walking this way, it's very easy to predict if you play play enough Treant Protector, play enough Meteor Hammer people. Like, you know the timing. Like, if she started turning right here, I would channel right around here, and she would walk right into it. I think. Please, I hope. But she would not react in time. She can't see Meteor Hammer coming in until it's like too late, and it would hit and kill her. Whereas I overgrowth first, and for whatever reason, she chose not to Yules or BKB, which really she should have. And if she had done that, she would have dodged Meteor Hammer, and then she would have just walked away before my team could get here. So the Meteor Hammer would have been like the instant initiate that she can't react to, and that it stuns her, and so she can't actually do anything. And then if she BKBs from there and tries to TP out, Overgrowth actually pierces BKB, and so that would have been fine. You know, you can't... She has a Purge. Even if I didn't know she had a BKB yet, she had the Yules. You can Yules Overgrowth, but you can't Yules a stun, you know, if you're already stunned. And so I should have Meteor Hammered, dropped the Nature's Grasp, Leech Seed, and then waited to see, like, these slows. Let's see if my team catches up. And if she then tries to BKB TP out, then I Overgrowth. So in this case, it worked out because she didn't use her items until too late. Eventually she did. But it was very close. She almost got out. And by changing the order I used my skills in, I could have guaranteed, maybe not guaranteed, but more likely get the kill. And so that was a mistake on my part, which other players not trying to save their stuff would have, like, they would have BKB'd or Yules at this point, in my opinion. And instead, she, like, does it too late, but my team's already here. And in fact, I think she should have just kept walking. She should have BKB'd and kept going. And I don't think we would have done anything. Now she's dead, though. Now we can push. Now we were a little grouped up mid there. If Enigma had rotated immediately, maybe he could have 5-man Black told us. So I'm going to put a ward here. I know it's probably going to get dewarded. And actually, after I did it, I felt kind of bad because I was like, oh, I've got a Venomancer. Maybe I didn't need to do it. And in hindsight, I don't think I need to do this. Because the Veno can just drop wards like around here to spot it, I don't need to like give them this like 100, somewhere between 100, 200 gold and XP for free. But generally when you're pushing high ground, you want to be able to see this stuff. So that's kind of why I did it. Now Magnus went for the kill, which I thought was hilarious. Poor CM. But he's kind of in there kind of deep. Midnight Pulse does a lot of damage. Now I just wanted to chip away this tower. This is again where I like should have been talking more in the game, where it's like, okay, I just want to chip this tower down, and I was gonna YOLO risk my Meteor Hammer because I would have finished the tower. But then Magnus went in for a kill, and I was like, oh, that is too deep. And I don't know what I was thinking here, and I'm pretty sure I wasn't thinking here because I walked up for what? Why did I walk up? I don't know. I think I was trying to Leech Seed someone to like heal Magnus and improve his chances, but it's so dumb of me. Look at this. So dumb of me to walk up here. We shouldn't have gone up here. We're trying to throw. We're throwing hard. Right? All we had to do was let Veno slowly poke away with these wards. None of us had to come up here or anything. It just Veno pokes the tower with his wards. Maybe I Meteor Hammer. But that's all. That's all that needs to happen. And make them come and react. Or we could have gone and taken top and bottom tower with the Aegis. But instead, we lost Aegis, and we lost all our lives, and it was really bad. Now, fortunately, we're not going to lose off of that or anything, because we were kind of in the lead, especially map control-wise, so they're going to have to take some time to get through all this. Now, I want to protect mid as much as I can. I've been kind of bad about healing towers. I feel like usually I'm more on top of it. I guess I was just not doing well yesterday. But these towers should be more full health if I had been doing a better job healing them. That is one of my downsides. Sometimes I forget to... You would think, as much as I play Treant Protector, I would remember to always heal all my stuff. But it's like 60-40 that I remember or I forget. Tier 3s are coming up soon. I was waiting to see if anyone wanted that. Now I'm going to send these illusions out to scout. I'm baiting out some spells, getting to see what they have. I'm setting this guy up to patrol back and forth there. You see on the minimap. This works out because he's near trees. I actually had him patrol a little bit too far. It should have been a little less. But if I had kept it like slightly shorter, he would not break invis, and they wouldn't see him. Now, after we smoked here... So actually, they smoked, and I wasn't in it, and then someone else smoked a second time for me, which I thought was pretty funny. I sent my illusion to go look for people after that. It's like, okay, we're trying to like look for a kill. They know I have an illusion because they killed that first one. So hopefully they won't react to this one too much. They won't like think too much of it. They'll be like, oh, he's just sending that second illusion to go look for us and not necessarily think that we are smoked behind it. So I was having it run around a bit. We saw Enigma kind of looking for him. I think this is kind of risky because we literally just saw Enigma, and I think he could have black holed like right there. That could have been risky, but fortunately we get the kill. Nothing bad happens, and they're not likely to fight with only 4 people, so we can come up, play aggressively, get this outpost. And what I wanted to do was come back here and get a ward ahead of time. Because we are pushing high ground. Even though we threw a bit, we're still in the lead, and we can still go back to what we were doing, is to just like slowly push. Now, I wasn't pinging to go on her, but I didn't actually say anything. I was pinging to say that, like, oh, she teleported, so that means she can't react as much. Now we're backing off, so I'm just going to farm. I took this telescope for our team, but I don't even know if it was necessary. Our team doesn't have that many like different cast range things. Looking at... what else we had? I kind of picked it because it felt like a team item. Maybe I should have taken Quickening Charm because I already have a cooldown talent later, so it's kind of nice to combo up. And then, you get more heals, all that stuff out, which is pretty spammable. Plus, if you get an Aghanim's, it's nice to have the reduced cooldown time on the trees. But I take the Telescope, and then... I think Undying took the Quickening Charm, which is pretty good for him as well. The heal is really nice on him, the 9 HP per second. And then the... like, his spells are also very spammable. Now, I wasn't paying attention here. I was looking at other stuff. Let's slow down here. I, looked at other parts of the map, and I didn't notice that she was walking up to me. And I didn't pay attention that they de-warded here so that they were looking for me, and so I just died. This is my fault. But... this death is not the worst. Because I'm just a support, and because they died up here, or like they killed me at their tier 3, right? Where's their closest objective? They have to push all the way out here to get this tower, or they have to push like all the way this way for mid tower. They're not even gonna think about going bottom, that's so far. Or maybe they want to go get a kill, but look where our lanes are. Like this one's really far out, so that if no one deals with mid, we know it's like pretty suspicious. Pretending we didn't have like a ward still here and like vision. Like if they killed me and they went out of vision, it's like, okay, well, we know this is here and we know the creeps were just in this area. And now bottom is kind of in a bad spot, but because they're top, it's like safe to push bottom. They can't be there. And so that death is not the worst. I'm not pointing that out to like cover up for my mistake. But I do want to try to emphasize like when it is okay for a support to die or not. And our team isn't like doing anything right now. Roshan's still down. This was ballsy. And I do want to point out like some deaths are okay, some are not. And so I am going to try to talk about that whenever I or whoever we're watching dies. Not to make it an excuse, because I really shouldn't have died there. But of all the deaths you could have, that one is not the worst. And I'm going to walk. I don't want to... I want to be able to rotate when needed. Can't remember if we were calling to a smoke. I think we might have been. Game check Roshan. Slow down here. Fortunately, the arrow hit again. I should have placed another sentry before doing all that stuff, because I know a huge fight was breaking out. We're buying back because this is a really big fight. And it's really important for us because Aegis could be respawning soon. And so it's really, really big to like come back into this fight. Did we have a huge impact? My buyback may not have been the biggest, but I think this Undying buyback amplifies a lot of the damage. And let's go watch it from his perspective real quick too. So he TP'd, he's running in now. Like, he gets the Tombstone off, he gets the ult, he's healing this guy so he can come back in, getting decays. Hey, Undying has a really big team fight presence. Whereas mine, I like used my ability, so I probably could have not bought back and it would have been okay. But he still had all his stuff, so that was a really important buyback to come into. And then, you know, we just got some kills, so it's like, okay, we should push. Maybe we can get this tower. But this buyback, it felt a little, you know, we did just throw once here, and it's a little scary. But we got the die back on CM. Gotta sell. Sorry, I was looking at his items. I know that's gonna play later. We're diving a little hard on some of this when maybe we should just be focusing the tower. Because the big weakness is that we don't have a good way to cancel his ult, especially when he BKBs. Because mine doesn't actually cancel that. And Magnus ult does, but it's really hard to get a RP off on a black holing Enigma. Now this is risky. I should have said more on that. I kind of felt okay about it because like, oh, this guy's dead, but Veno's dead. You know, so they can fight here. And you know, Black Hole should be up soon. So I positioned up here to try to break smoke if they were going to come up here. I'm just standing around here. I decide to scan. No, they're up here. I decide to ult back here to try to waste time. Waste their time while they finish. Fortunately, we do get it off. And I get pretty lucky here. I'm able to blink out. But this is still really scary, you know, because now they're gonna have this black hole. We can't do anything, and at this point it was like maybe we threw too hard. So immediately I want to come top and push a lane out because again I can do this pretty safely because I'm a Treant protector, and as long as the creeps aren't on our base, you know, they can't push a ton of objectives. So it's like, okay, let's get the creep waves out, and I can't really cut mid because I wasn't positioned for that. But also they have an easier time going mid, and I have a harder time playing safely, whereas up here is very safe for me. So I'm over here just shoving everything out as quickly as I can. I should have been having healing the towers more. I'm choosing to heal mid because that's where they are now, but also I'm pushing out top, so they'll have a harder time doing this. Although at this point they can just you know, run to it and literally take it. The courier kind of revealed where I am if they're paying attention, and I didn't want it to die on its way back because if they saw it and it walked straight back, they might know. So I shift-clicked over here and then sent it home. That's a short trick for people to do if you want to keep your couriers very safe. The command, let me pause it real quick. Can we see the commands on couriers? Yeah, so whatever you guys have these hotkeyed as, you should use them, I think. And so for me, what I did there was 5 to select. Oh, it doesn't work on this. Oh, interesting. 5 to select my courier. That's my hotkey. Shift click the courier to move into this corner. Essentially, like follow along these trees, and then shift click Q, which is my return home button. And so when the courier gets here, it will then return home, which will pretty much keep it in the trees the entire way home. Only takes like 2 clicks. 3, I guess, if you count the shift. I'm back here, trying not to die a second time. I was deciding what to buy, and after we lost that fight, I felt like, okay, I need to take it a little more seriously. I was going to get an Aghanims for the Vision, which is still me trying to take it seriously, you know, see people take the fights we want. But at the same time, it felt like Sven is kind of the guy who's causing a lot of problems. It is Sven and Enigma. but I cannot do anything to Enigma because when Enigma black holes or when he BKBs, like I can ult him to stop him from moving, but I cannot actually stop his ultimate. And so it felt like, okay, I cannot deal with Enigma, but if I get another halberd for our team and I halberd this Sven before he BKBs, you know, if he's disarmed, what does he do? If he BKBs after that, by the time it's over, you know, he pretty much can't do much. Or like his BKB is almost over at that point by the time the disarm ends. You'll notice, maybe you'll notice, it goes really quickly. But I've been buying a lot of detection because, you know, they've got the Glimmer and they've got the Mirana ult. And I said the Glimmer, it's overlapping, so it's not good. And that's only true as long as I have detection. So I have to make sure I always have detection. And because when a fight breaks out here, like let's say we fight mid, I use my smoke, we kill them, and then we push in, and then it's like, oh, I don't have any more detection because I only have this one dust. So, you know, at this point of the game, if you want to make, try to get a team fight and then push for a win, you have to have, like, a second set of detection to be ready. Keep going. So we decided to smoke up, and we do have this deep ward there, and we can see people. I walked back to meet my courier to not reveal that, like, we are doing this. Whose courier is this? I don't know what's happening there. Maybe also not to reveal that that it's coming out. Look at the minimap. This is why it's really important to watch the minimap, guys. So even though I wasn't looking around, I had my eyes on the minimap. I do this a lot when we are making smoke plays. I saw several of them up there, and they all disappeared. That is smoke. It could have been Mirana ult, but we have the sentry there to see that. But even if they don't, you can see it. And I don't know if the volume's loud enough, but I heard the smoke of deceit sound as well. You know, if you don't play with, if you play with music and stuff, you may not hear this kind of thing. So when I'm tryharding, I don't listen to music or anything, and I don't even have the music on. I only do this when I'm like making videos for like a very mild amount of background noise. But I play with game sounds fairly high, and so that I can hear that kind of stuff. The sound design in Dota is really good, and so I can hear them smoke. We'll just watch this the first time, actually. Look at that. Brings a smile to your face. Why did that work? Let's go back. Let's free cam this from our perspective. Actually, let's watch Magnus's perspective. That might be better. So I can only guess because I am not Magnus. Actually, maybe Gibbs can ask him and let us know. But my interpretation of this, when this happens, is that... Okay, watch the minimap. They all disappear. Okay, this is busted because it's a mini replay. They are all gone, but they just smoked here. What are they going to do? They have to come out. Possibly they could go top, you know, but very likely if they were going to go top, they would have smoked up here and then gone out. So it's most likely that they smoked here. This puts us in a really big advantage because usually running into each other smoke on smoke is it's not the best because you both have the same amount of time to react because you didn't know that the other team was smoked. And then by the time both your smokes pop, you see each other and it's like, okay, who can react the fastest? But Magnus and our team saw them smoke, run in here, and they don't know that we still had this ward. Otherwise, they would have dewarded this, right? So they don't know we saw them smoke. And we know when you smoke, you all run together. That's like what you do. And so for me, I think Magnus runs up because it's like, okay, they're all likely to run right through here, group together. And I will run up until our smokes pop. And I expect it to happen. So I am ready to react. Whereas they know we're missing, but they don't necessarily know we smoked like right outside their base or that we know that they just smoked. And so he has the advantage of being able to react first. So as soon as the smoke pops, he goes and gets all 5. And it's a beautiful combo. Very rarely do you ever get the 5 mans on this stuff. That's going to end the game. I think we all commend him right now. I don't know if we're going to see that. This is me looking for the commend button. It's not going to pop up on the replay, but everyone's commending him. That was a great RP. And then this guy's going to try to kill me. What the heck? Thank you, Gibbs. I probably would have died without you healing me there. So rude, you know? Just leave me alone. So we're going to win there. pretty lucky. It was kind of close up to that point. We could have lost as well, but you know, a 5-man RP when your buybacks are down tends to lose the game. Yeah. So we did win the game at the end, but I do kind of feel like I could have done better in the laning. That's why I wanted to do this as a replay instead of putting out the recording. I wanted to talk about like that beginning laning, what I could have done better, and some of that stuff. Things you can do when the lane is going really weird like that. And to really highlight thinking proactively instead of reactively. So like recognizing, oh, they're probably going to tri-lane at the start. But it's not just like tri-lanes that you can use this on, but you can also think about it in other cases, kind of like, I put myself on the spot now, but, you know, recognizing where they are likely to make a play and being there ahead of time. So like, if you're a Treant protector and you don't want to just, like, if you TP in, it might be too late because there's a TP channel time. But if you see someone disappear and you're like, okay, they're probably going to go top, and you TP top ahead of time so that you're not wasting time channeling when the fight starts, or wasting time teleporting, and you're already there in position, and then they show up and you're like, surprise, overgrowth, I'm already here, I am ready, I am proactive because I saw you coming here, or like I felt like you would come here, you know, if you didn't actually see them. Trying to make these proactive plays is really good. And for me, I feel like I could have been proactive by identifying, hey, tri-lane's going to happen. Let's react to that. Let's make our own tri-lane, or let me pull sooner. Or not pull, sorry. Drag the creep wave around, whatever the term is now. I think that would really help. Being able to do that shows a really good level of game understanding, which is hard to do. And I am not there yet either. But yeah, that's the game. It was pretty close. Here's us trying to throw a lot, but fortunately it worked out in the end. Wraith King was able to, you know, he started off worse because we were feeding the Sven, but Undying got him to a point where he could 1v1 decently, and eventually he's just like free farming in that 1v1 while Sven has to constantly fight us. And unless you do a tri-lane extremely cleanly as the safe lane, it tends to be less efficient than a 1v1. Because ideally you like get kills, you pull, you prevent the creeps from ever like pushing out too far, but it's really hard to do uncoordinated, and it's not like anyone really gets to practice this stuff unless you you like have a team, and many of us are just lonely solo queuers, so it's like really hard to pull off a good tri-lane, and that's why I tend not to think about it, because many people just don't do it. But I'm at the point where I do have to think about it, so that's for me. But hopefully everything else was helpful to you guys. And that is it. I have nothing else to say. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. Have a great day.